probably have to be mad to buy a 20-year-old V12 7 Series, which probably explains why this one is mine. 2,085 kilograms, 5.4 litre, 326 horsepower, 6-speed automatic, 490 newton meters, and single-figure MPGs. This isn't a V12 in the Jeremy Clarkson way you'd think about a V12. Yes, it's fairly powerful for a land yacht, but also not really for a 5.4 litre engine. It's V12 because a V12 means it can be smooth, with the power coming in as a surge. One of those cars you're not meant to know is even running. The gearbox is a silky smooth 6-speed, adding to the overall waftiness. Downside though is the miles per gallon. The Windows 95-esque trip computer tells you you're doing 16 miles per gallon on a good day and probably about 5 in traffic.
The first thing you notice getting in the 750 is just how smooth it is. You get that typical V12 starter motor ignition noise where it goes through the cylinders, and then you just have to literally just click it like that and it just fires up straight away, let go of it straight away, and it goes. And then there's no engine noise whatsoever really. Like I said, it's not fast in the way that you'd think of a V12 is fast, but it kind of is at the same time. You know, it's just that surging power that you'd probably expect from something like a Rolls Royce, and the same ride as well entirely. You know, it's an absolutely just smooth car. It's just built to, you know, just cruise between your different businesses that you probably had at the time when this was made on the autobahn, doing about 150 miles an hour. Obviously this has got the SEDC function as well, which is a sports electronic damper control. You hit that button and it's supposed to obviously make it more stiffer and flatter through the corners. Personally, I don't think it makes that much difference, to be honest. It's probably just a bit of a gimmick. BMWs of this era tended to have this instant MPG readout dial on just underneath the rev counter. I don't know why they put it in this one, because it's utterly useless in the 750. Just because you look at it and it has a tendency to just like dive between under 10, which is kind of like 0 on the readout, and about 30, which is, you know, depending on whether you've got your foot down and you're just driving normally, or you're backing off and coming to braking, it just dives between the two. So I don't really know why they put that in there, but it's there. And it's a constant reminder of how bad the miles per gallon is that you're getting.
Some of the main things to look out for when buying an E38. A lot of them tend to develop what they call the dreaded shimmy under braking. These are heavy cars at the end of the day with a lot of suspension bushings and components to wear out. That weight puts a lot of stress on the many suspension components, and finding the culprit can be a lengthy task. The sunroof seal tends to perish on them too, and you'll hear it becomes quite noisy on the motorway without the actual screen pulled over the window. Have a look at that, make sure you take it on a good run. Dead pixels on the display have plagued this era of BMW, not just the E38 since they were new, so that's also something to look out for, but I won't be too worried about it. This was really the first 7 Series BMW decided to shove all the electrics they possibly could into. So check everything works, and I mean everything. Slow seat motors, haywire parking sensors, dead window motors are pretty common things to come across. The V8 models of E38 have a fancy version of Honda's VTEC system, something BMW called Vanos. BMWs don't have this and are proven to be a lot stronger engine block in general, so that's something to think about when picking a model. The Vanos system, if that goes, you're looking at a pretty big bill.
Everything in here is kind of as you'd expect from a 7 Series really. There's leather literally everywhere, on top of the dashboard, down the side of the door cards, even in the places where you normally wouldn't get leather, sort of under where the pedals go, and the actual dashboard section here, by the gear sticks, all leather. It isn't, however, on the same calibre as something like a Jaguar XJ or any of these big modern executive cars now. This dashboard's still got a lot of plastic in it. The instrument dials are the standard BMW dials from that era with all the plastic in it. The clock and stuff, still got a tape cassette in there. There's plastic all around the gear lever. And I mean, I'd be quite disappointed if I'd bought this car when it was new, which was probably over £100,000 back in 1998, which isn't actually that long ago really if you think about it in terms of cars. I think this shape of 7 Series is the last great shape of BMWs really. It's before they went to that American designer and they all started looking a bit naff and plastic. This especially in black, 750 short wheelbase is as mafia as any car's gonna get really, especially even nowadays. You look at these sort of 90s big executive cars like this in black. If this had tinted windows, you'd just think that there's some sort of mafia or gangsters or something had turned up. Well, you can actually buy, I've seen advertised on the internet, gun boxes for the back, for all your machine guns to go in the back of here. What other car has that really? It's absolutely crazy. Don't forget as well, James Bond had this car as Pierce Brosnan when he had his sort of banker phase in the 90s.
If you're going to buy one of these, be very, very careful. It's a hell of a lot of car for the money, but with lots of outdated electronics and high-end components, it could quickly become a money pit. On the other hand though, they're starting to become a classic. A decent, well-kept, rare spec one like this has the potential to be worth a lot of money in another 5 to 10 years.